Good evening, everyone. Tap in, tap in, tap in. You are on with Relationship Chronicles with Okiymo. Okay, y'all know how I roll. So the huge topic is that big umbrella is being single, being married, being divorced, and widowed, right? Who is this? They called him by mistake. My bad, y'all. And reinventing yourself. So this evening, I have with me the very own, hey, Mickey Rob, and she's here with me, and we're gonna discuss self-care. And I'm gonna let her introduce herself in her own way. Turn it over.
Hi, everyone. I am Michelle Robinson by way of Jacksonville, Florida, a Southern girl, all
Okay.
the way here in Michigan. So I just thank Okiymo for inviting me on the show. I love the show. I've been watching the show, been following her. So I hope you enjoy as well. I am the wife of Pastor Michael C. Robinson. And I'm just enjoying myself being be 52 next month. So I'm just living life, you guys. I'm living life to the fullness. Anytime you can pass 2020, you better celebrate in 2021. So I'm
Mhm.
just excited. So I am so happy to be on the show and I just can't wait. Thanks for having me.
Oh, you are more than welcome. It's a pleasure to have you here. And first I want to say, tell us a little bit about your show.
Well, my show will be airing on March 1st. I'm with Guest House Entertainment. It's on my Facebook, Michelle Robinson Facebook page. And it's keeping it real, real talk with Mickey Rob. And I'm opening up different type of dialogue from all types of people, walks of life, and just keeping it real. Conversations, topics that we don't get a chance to hear, that we don't talk about because we were told not to talk about, but we're bringing them on the table because if I went through something for 5 years and I can save you 5 minutes from going through, that's about sharing. So
Mhm.
I just want to just open the doors for a platform where we can talk, have conversation, because what I've been through, you might not even know that I've been through it. So you might not understand why I'm acting the way I'm acting. So we need to understand what people have been through and why they're acting the way they act, their behavior, and maybe we can understand and love people more. So,
Mhm.
yeah, so I'll
Amen.
be having all that information on the website and on Guest House Entertainment.
Okay. And then, towards the end, just drop your information down in the
Okay.
comments and things like that. Sharing is caring.
Yes,
I truly believe in that.
it is.
So, Michelle, I have you here. How long have you been married?
This year will be 17 years that I have been married here in Michigan. So it's been, every year has been different, even with the weather. I always say that people say, oh my God, you've never been in snow. You're right. I've never been in snow until I moved here in 2004. But I love living here. I love the weather. I love the seasons. So I get a chance to witness the different tree colors. So we don't see that in Florida. We just see two colors, green and brown. So
Mhm.
so yeah, 17 years, May 1st.
17 years. Now, someone out there that's married, we have those that desire to be married. We have those that are on the edge of just throwing in the towel, right? So when you think about you as a woman and self-care, being a married person and woman, tell us a little bit about that.
Well, self care is knowing your worth. You cannot, and I repeat this, you cannot lose yourself in a relationship, in a marriage. Once you do that, you lose your identity and you're not yourself, you become someone else's. So, my whole thing is be true to yourself, do not lose your identity. You know, a lot of people, yeah, they see me, oh, that's Pastor Robinson's wife. Oh, of course, but I know who I am. Although you may say that, I know who I am, and knowing your worth, know why you are here, why you were created, having a purpose and a plan, and being confident and knowing and for sure that I am who I am. So
Mhm.
do not lose yourself in relationships. And I see that happening so much because once you lose yourself, you become a follower instead of a leader. And not saying that you're trying to overpower the man or anything like that, but it's something that on the inside of you that you have to control. When I say you have to control, you have to know your destiny. You have to know your plan. You have to know your goal for yourself, not someone else's goal and plans to get them. But you got to create something on the inside so you can feel good about yourself. So.
And so when you say identity, to give us an example for somebody that may not know.
Well, identity is before I got married, I was so sure of who I was. So my identity, if you was to go and ask somebody, oh, Michelle, she is so down to earth. I don't lose my personality in a marriage. I don't lose my personality in a relationship. I let people know this is who I am. You can't change me. You will want to change me. If it's something that I see within myself that I can better myself, I will do that. So my whole thing is the identity is who you are when you got there, who you were before you got in a relationship. Because once you lose that person, you're going to always be a follower instead of a leader. And I do believe that in any and everything that you do in life. So your identity is very important. It's just like a fraud. If someone stole your identity, it's almost like hurtful. It's shocking. It's like, oh my God, what just happened to me? You know what I'm saying? You just feel like somebody just ripped you apart. So that's how I feel when I lose my identity in anything, in a relationship, on a job, in a marriage. It's almost like I just ripped myself, if someone ripped me apart and I don't know who I am anymore. So.
That's really deep right there. And sometimes people get into these relationships and they feel like they're being either stripped or pulled apart.
Right.
And they're not really understanding what is really going on.
And that's when some people try to steal your self-esteem, try to beat that up out of you. When I say that, I met a young lady and she wanted to talk to me. And she said that when she got in a relationship, she was an outgoing person. She loved family. But as soon as she got in a relationship, she noticed that he was pulling her away from family. He's trying to, first of all, steal your identity. And then he's trying to crush your self-esteem so you can follow his plan instead of following who you are when you came in. So it's very important. I tell people, don't lose yourself. Do not lose yourself. Because once you lose yourself, everything else just trickles down. Your confidence in yourself, your self-esteem. So we have to continue to make sure we identify who we are and know our worth.
That's real good because I'm sitting here thinking like so many people, they want to be in relationships. They're pretty much learning how to develop these friendships and these relationships. And we talked about intuition.
Right.
And we learned in our panel, the guys was like, we have it too. We have that intuition like you all do. So what is it that keeps a person from listening?
I think some people hear what they want to hear. Whatever captured your ear that is entertaining to you, that's what you're going to listen to. That's what you're going to gravitate to. I remember sitting in a panel, and I would say it was boring to me because what they were saying did not gravitate, didn't jump out. So I was like, that, I'm not going to listen. But I was there, but I chose not to listen. And I think some people do that in a relationship. They hear what they want to hear. And they tune out the things that they don't care about, they don't want to hear. And that's the most important part, the piece that you don't want to hear. So I tell people, listen to people. Regardless if it's something that you don't understand, regardless if it's boring or whatever, listen, because there are nuggets. There are certain things that people say that grabs hold to you later on. Oh, they did say that.
Yeah.
I remember hearing that, but you didn't take heed to it. So I learned to listen. I learned to sit back and let a person talk because most people want to talk. They need a listener.
Yes, I will agree with that.
Yeah.
My Zach was like hearts. Teresa said, "Hey, Lady Michelle."
Hey, Zach. Hey, everyone.
King Ryan like 100%. Michelle like right. Uh, King Ryan like stubbornness keeps one from listening.
It is. It is. I mean, it's just when you're stubborn, it's only what you want to do, not what I remember my mom used to tell me, wash the dishes. I wasn't trying to hear that. I was just a stubborn wash the dishes. You know what I'm saying? So you can it's a behavior that is learned, you know. Only you can allow that to break down in relationships and stop being stubborn. That's why I tell people before you jump ship to the other ship, make sure that you are totally healed. You are healed, because if not, you're going to always size that person up in the next relationship. You're going to always try to compare that person in the relationship. And then your triggers, whatever ticked you off in the last relationship, the triggers are still there. Heal, because someone can love you better. Heal, you'll love yourself better. So don't just want to be with somebody, want to be with yourself first. Want to be with yourself. So,
and so for somebody that may be just struggling with that, how can we, what do you have for them, or what could you say to them? They might say, okay, I hear her say, be with myself. What does that look like?
well, let me just say self-care. A lot of people don't really put time into self-care, but it is knowing your worth. And I have four dimensions that I do as for self-care, and is make sure physically you're living a healthy life. I know that if I keep eating chocolate cake at night, late at night, I'm going to gain some pounds. So at some point, I'm gonna feel less confident about myself. So physically, we have to take care of ourselves. We have to exercise. That's part of self-care. The next one is emotional. Love, care, be in a relationship with yourself. Know who you are. Before you want somebody to like you, you got to like yourself. So that's very important. The next one is psychological. What are you thinking? What triggers you? Are you totally healed from your last relationship? Are you mending relationships? Are you the type person that hold grudges in a relationship? So psychologically, break that down. Break that down, because in the long run, you're going to always have that problem floating with you. I call it baggage, emotional baggage, going from one relationship to the other one. And 9 times out of 10, you're going to collect more baggage and move on. So, and the last one is spiritual. Pray, meditate, find out, where you are with Christ, what kind of plan he has for you. It's not our will, it's his will to be done. So my whole thing is, those are 4 points as far as self-care that I look at. And if I'm hitting those areas and taking care of those areas, when I move to a relationship, or when I move the next year in my marriage, I'm making sure that I'm checking those boxes. Emotional, am I okay? Am I okay? Physically, am I satisfied with what I'm looking at? You know what I'm saying? Spiritually, do I have that direct connection with God? Is he hearing me and I'm hearing from him? And psychologically, am I a hot mess, or am I totally healed? What I need to work on. A lot of things we do, we are so in denial. We are so in denial until we don't want to go and talk to somebody. I don't know why people don't go and talk to a person. You cannot get out of what you are currently in for years if you don't talk to somebody.
Okay.
That's why I'm glad that you have panels like this, because we need to talk about this. We need to talk about relationships. We need to talk about marriages. We need to talk about divorce. We need to talk about it all, because what's going to happen is going to help us move on. It's going to help us heal, I tell people all the time, I'm all about relationship, as far as, being the pastor's wife and all that, that is cool. That is fine. But at the end of the day, I'm all about relationship. Where are you? Where are you? I'm not a religious person. I don't think God made us to be religious. I think he made us to be in relationship.
Yes. That's real good. That is really, really good. So, um, that's good because I'm thinking about those check-ins.
Oh yeah, you got to check in with yourself. When I say check in,
Mm.
let me tell you what I do. I kind of sit back sometimes
Mm-hmm.
and get me some me time. When I say me time, maybe Saturday morning between 1, 3 o'clock, I might be sitting on somebody's patio somewhere, just out on the patio, just having me some coffee, just really taking in. Where are you at, Michelle? Where are you at in this?
Okay.
What have you done lately in this area? Taking it all in, getting me some me time. And I know people say, oh, that might be selfish of you. We got to check in with ourselves.
Amen.
We got to check in with ourselves. I run Monday through Friday to somebody's job, 9 to 5. I got to check in with me, you
Mm-hmm.
know. So that's what I'm all about. I really am about self-care because at the end of the day, it's all about taking care of yourself. It really is.
I like when you say if you don't love, I heard you say if you don't love yourself, who will? And then how are you expected to love somebody else if you are carrying all that baggage?
All that baggage.
All that
How,
baggage is
how
one.
can how can somebody love you? Nobody don't want all that stuff.
Mhm, mhm, mhm. I think about it's one song. It's a R&B song. She says "Bag Lady."
Uh-huh.
It's called "Bag Lady." She said you carrying all that she's carrying. She just carrying it,
Yeah.
And I'm
Yeah.
just like, man, that's I can't. Erica Badu, "Bag Lady."
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so when you carrying all that baggage, not only is it hurting the people that you're with, it's weighing you down.
Yeah.
So you can't fully operate at the capacity that you need to operate in because you're so heavy.
Yes.
And another thing I pulled out from you is that relationship with God. Having that relationship where, I was just listening to I do grief share. So that's a program
Okay.
for those that are grieving. And we know that grief is not only with death, it can be a separation, it can be a loss.
Right. Right.
You can have a loved one that's ill. And so I went to grief and anger. And so
Mm.
I was listening to it and I'm like, okay. And it brought out forgiveness. And
Oh.
so as I'm listening, I'm like, Okiymo. One thing about having that relationship with God, He will speak to you even though you're preparing to teach somebody else.
Oh yes.
So from that, I said, okay, Lord, let me do what I have to do. You know what I'm saying on
Yeah.
that end.
Yeah.
So I took care of God's business. But one thing about having that relationship, I've learned that He will speak to you.
Oh yes.
Like I remember the other day, it was last night, and I can clearly hear Him say, "Be still."
Mm. Mm-hmm.
I was like, okay, Jesus. You know what I'm saying? That
Mm-hmm.
comes from that relationship. Now,
Yes.
although I might have heard other people say it,
Mm-hmm.
but it was something about when He said it.
He said, yeah, it's totally different.
It's totally different. So now we're looking at the spiritual, the psychological. So here
Mm-hmm.
we go. I think, I only can speak for myself, but I know personally that I can be stubborn.
Mm-hmm.
And if I don't hear what I need to hear, or I'm feeling a certain kind of way about things that may not go my way, it doesn't, at that time, I'm gonna tell you, I don't see that I'm being stubborn.
Mm-hmm.
But then as you begin to deal with you, because this is that self-care, and I'm about that
Right. Right. Right.
self-care, and I'm like, oh, okay, Lord. I was a little maybe stubborn, and I
Mm-hmm.
probably was a little selfish. And then and having that relationship, he'll make you get it right.
Oh yes. Oh
So,
yeah.
so now we're looking at that psychological, the spiritual. We talked about the emotional.
Mm-hmm.
Now, us being women, we are naturally.
Yes.
emotional beings.
Yes.
So one of my friends was telling me, sometimes you got to remove that emotion and let's deal with facts,
Yeah.
the facts and the truth. So
Yes.
before you get emotional,
Mm-hmm.
before you get upset,
Mm-hmm.
feeling sad, you got to sometimes take a step back
Yeah.
and think about that thing. Put
Yes.
it before you, whatever it
Right.
is that you're about to
Right.
get really emotional with. Along with that relationship with God, then you can say, you know what? Let me take this to the Lord in prayer.
Right.
Let
Right.
me meditate on this thing because I want to make sure that I'm doing the right thing. And it's not only for me, because I only can talk about me, but when I do the right thing for me, guess what's gonna happen? It's gonna sprinkle down and pour out to my children. You know what
Exactly.
I'm saying? And for somebody that's single and don't have any children, every decision you make is you.
It
And
is.
you are the
It
most
is.
important person on this earth. You are important. Not only are you important to those around you, but to your family too. So we do have to be selfish when it comes to us and our well-being.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's so good to have that, like you call it, you said your 4 tiers. So you got the emotional, psychological. You can help me out if I'm
Yeah.
missing.
Spiritual, psychological, physical, and emotional. Let me just jump in real quick. You said something about being stubborn and
Mhm,
selfish.
mhm,
Um, we do have to be selfish when we are protecting our morals and values.
mhm,
That's where we should be selfish at.
mhm,
As far as emotional, I'll always tell people find out in that situation what is making you emotional.
mhm.
Because whatever is making you emotional is driving you. It's driving your emotions, it's driving your thoughts, it's driving
Your
you to the
decisions too.
point. Yes, it's driving you. So, one particular person was in a relationship, and the guy was mean, talked to her bad, just did everything. But when we spoke, it wasn't about that he was mean, he was bad. It's something that happened some years ago that didn't have anything to do with him being mean or bad. It was a conversation that they were having, and she felt like he didn't protect her in a situation.
Mhm,
So her emotion to the whole entire relationship was something happened 4 years ago that
mhm.
was driving her to put walls up, put walls up.
Of
He
course.
didn't know. He didn't know.
Mhm.
He just going on with life. But that is not fair in relationships.
Exactly.
You have to communicate. And when I talk
I was
about
born
that
there.
psychological thing,
Mhm,
let's think about what happened in process. A lot of times we get in situations and we want to react, but
mhm,
sometimes we need to chill out and say, let me see where I played the part
mhm.
in this situation that went left. We
Yes.
don't want to find our part. We always want to point the finger. You did this and you did. What did I do
Mhm,
in this
mhm,
situation to make it
mhm,
go? And
mhm.
then I can work on me because I can't work on you because
Okay.
I don't know what your emotions, your physical and your psychological and your spiritual makeup look like.
Mhm,
And I think it's so important in relationships. I'm telling you, that self-care, you have to. You have to make sure you are going in it with a sound mind, because it's not fair to the other party that you're dealing with all this baggage and garbage. That's why people don't, don't speak to each other after relationships. It's like, gone, I don't want to see you no more because of the
mhm.
baggage. You
Yes.
don't see the ugliness of the
Mm,
baggage. Baggage now, when you go to the airport, what they do, they be pretty bags. But guess
mhm.
what? They're tossed, they're
Yep.
thrown, they're
Mhm.
kicked. That bag been hurt, you
Yes.
know? So you carrying it, not knowing they dropped it
Mm,
down a flight of stairs, but you still pulling that bag.
mhm.
And it's not fair to me as I get to my destination, my handle done broke. You know what I'm saying? It's not fair to me when I get in a relationship that whoever did this to you, now it's on me. So self-care is so important. It is really important.
Mm-hmm. And I really agree with that. While you were saying that, my thing is hurt people. Hurt people.
That's right. That's right.
Not and 9 times out of 10, they don't mean to.
Right.
It's because they're so heavy. It's even hard to validate. They can't even validate because they are so hurt.
So hurt.
They can't hear you because they're so hurt. All they see is the red. They see red. That's all.
Yeah. Yeah. And some people don't got so conditioned to being hurt until they live like that.
Oh,
if they don't feel pain, if they don't feel pain, they not right. Because they're so conditioned to being hurt. They're so conditioned to somebody telling them off or somebody downing them. So what they do, they pass it on. They pass it on. They create an environment of hurt. And
that they can live in. Look, that they can live in.
Exactly.
Because can't nobody else live in that but them.
That's right.
You got to hear people say, I can't live this way. You know, I think about people when they say, I can't live this way. Then guess what? You have to make a decision.
That's right.
Because if it's affecting your well-being, your growth, shaking and tearing, your foundation about to be all broke up.
That's right.
You're going to have to, my thing is leave. Take your bag and you and leave, period. Do what you got to do to save you.
Yeah. You're right.
Mm-hmm. So when we say the physical part, like you say, you look at yourself, I look at myself in the mirror, I be like, oh, I need to do something. You know what I'm saying? So we know that there are people out there. You can Google, you can go on YouTube to do what you need to do for your physical. Right. What I'm learning is that adults are bullies.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, hey, you got an adult bully? So you looking for this specific type of woman or you looking for this specific type of man, then leave the person that's not your type of woman alone. Because sometimes I just really think it's a bully thing. They get with somebody that's not like them or not their type and they tear them down.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. I've heard it. You know, name calling. And these are adults.
You're right.
And so now my prayer is, and I'm saying it on live, leave them alone. You know what I'm saying? Leave them alone. Don't talk to them. Don't entertain them. If you are out there set out purposely to destroy any man or woman, that's horrible. Don't do that.
It really is.
And it comes from they were hurt before. You know, bullies just didn't wake up and say, I'm going to be a bully.
Right.
You know, we understand that.
Right.
So I'm just asking for people, just like Micky Robb said, she said, go get help. Talk to somebody.
Yes.
It's okay.
Yeah.
It is okay. So anything else you want to share with us when we think about self-care?
Self-care. One other thing I just want to say is for everyone to be true to themselves. Don't, in no way, do not alter from your values and morals. Don't. Because once you do that, everything else in life is just going to trickle down. You will settle for any and everything. That's why I tell women, they always say, oh, I want this in a man. I want this in a man. I want this in a man. And then you catch him a couple of months. Oh, you know what, girl? I thought, well, you know, they can probably have. And now you done broke something here. Now you done broke something. No, stay true to yourself. And when you say true to yourself, a man can appreciate. They can appreciate you when they meet you. And you say, well, what are you looking for in a man? And you say X, Y, Z. Be true. Because if he don't fit in X, Y, Z, guess what? You might just met your best friend. Someone you can call and talk to. that can give you advice on men, So I tell women, don't all men, that word, all men are dogs.
Mm-hmm.
Don't do that, because sometimes we can create some stuff,
Mm-hmm.
we can create when we're not true to ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
So be true to yourselves, hold up your standards, hold up your morals and values. And I always tell women, you can't look for a husband. It's no way. You can't look for a husband.
Y'all hear that, ladies?
You cannot look for a husband. You cannot force a man to be in a relationship. You cannot force anybody to be somewhere that they don't want to be. I remember back in the day, there's a song, R&B soul song. It says, "My body is here with you, but my mind is on the other side of town." You
We.
can't force it, baby. Let me tell you, if you are jumping through hoops just to be with that person, to get that person's attention, that's not you.
That ain't the one.
That's not the one. So stop looking. Take care of yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Love yourself. And trust me, it will become so attractive when
Mm-hmm.
that man see that woman walking down the street. When
Mm-hmm.
he see that lady walking down the street, I ain't say no girl. I'm talking about a real woman walking down the street. And you love yourself just as much as the next person love you. Trust me, it's attractive. I don't have to show, I tell girls sometimes, you reveal so much until they know exactly what they're going to get. I
Mm-hmm.
said, hey, be a lady. Be a
Mm-hmm.
lady. When you go fishing, you sometimes you don't catch the fish right off the, when you throw it in the water. Sometimes
Right.
you can sit there a little while, have a conversation for a little while, and then
Mm-hmm.
next thing you know, your lines start, tingling. So
Mm-hmm.
my whole thing is take care of yourself. Be the best you can be. Be yourself. So
Amen. Michelle said, yes, you have to talk to yourself and take care of yourself.
yeah.
Slow down and relax.
Yes, you have to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I will agree with that. Take your time. So, Mickey Rob, what's your tips? I see them down there, but you can take your time and explain each one of them.
Okay, first tip, know your worth. Know who you are, girlfriend. You are wonderfully and fearfully made 100%. Don't let nobody tell you anything different. Your father created you like a brick wall, baby. Don't let nobody tear it down.
Amen.
Know your worth. Know your worth. The next one I put up there, I think I said positive vibes. Let me just say this one thing. Negative energy will spoil the whole entire day. Walk in a room, command the room.
Come on.
Bring your energy in that room and change the whole atmosphere. That's what I'm talking about. When you know your worth, you come with thunder, you come with power. So you got to know who you are. And the next one is be you. Nobody can be Mickey Rob. I'm the only Mickey Rob there is. So I got to be myself. I got to take care of myself. So I love Mickey Rob. So guess what? I'm going to do what it takes to make Mickey Rob happy. I don't need nobody to buy me anything to make me happy. I take care of myself. It's nice to gift. Don't get me wrong, Pastor Robinson. Bring it on. But my whole thing is you have to love yourself. You have to love yourself. So my tip for ladies, be true, be straight up, conversate with men, treat them like they are as men. For men, hey, don't, shuckle and jive and trying to date around and stuff like that. Hey, be true to yourself as well. You know what you want. You know what you lack.
Don't
You know
settle.
what is attractive to you. So don't, if that is not attractive to you, don't even waste your time.
Hello.
Don't even waste your time. Keep it moving. Hey, have a great day. Thank you. Keep it moving. Don't even try it, because what's going to happen is that person is going to get excited, but you are not even excited. You're not even interested. So in order to keep the vibe, positive vibe, hey, be true to yourself. You know what you want, say it. We don't say it. We always think what he should know or she should know. No, let them know. Communication is key.
Yes. Oh my God. You just made my day. Just a burst of joy over here.
You know,
So,
I love talking about topics like this because I have four brothers and they
mhm,
taught me a lot. I saw a lot. And so all four of my brothers are totally different, four
mhm,
different personalities. So as a little girl, I'm the baby girl, the only girl growing up. I had a front row seat of how they was treating people, how they was getting them, how they was rolling, how they was doing stuff. And then I had older girl cousins that I'm over here, you know, looking at and stuff. And I'm saying to myself, I see what both sides want. I see how
mhm.
both sides play the game. So now when I'm older, I can talk to people. Be true. You know what you want. Don't play around with it. Go for what you want. Don't settle for less because you're going to always want what you want at some point.
Yes.
So I always tell people, hey, everybody want a Denzel. But that ain't
Yeah.
Denzel right there. You know what I'm saying? When you walk down the aisle, you want to see Denzel. That's not Denzel. That's the one who you married, okay? So don't try to change him. That's
That's
not
right.
Denzel. Let
That's
them
right.
be who they are. So
Mm-hmm.
be true to yourself and know your worth.
True to yourself, know your worth, positive vibes only, and
Yes.
be who you are.
Be
Okay.
who you are.
That's right. And so, you know what? I am going to first finish up my thank you. I want to say thank you, thank you, thank you. I love you. You are
Oh,
amazing. You
thank
are the
you.
bomb.com.
Thank
I
you.
cannot wait to be on your show. I'm so nervous. I'm so nervous and I'm so happy. And this is, I want to say thank you from the
Thank
bottom of my heart. And I appreciate all that you do because I follow you also. And I'd be like, oh, she getting them together in her post. Like I can feel you just reaching out. I feel your heart. So I want you to know
you.
that.
Thank you.
So keep doing what you're doing.
Yes.
God is going to bless the works of your hands. Okay. He's
Thank you. I
doing
receive that. I
it.
receive that. And thank you so much for having me on your show. And all of those who are watching live, who are listening, thank you for tuning in. In the chat, I'll just put my phone number. Anybody want to contact me and chat later? That is fine. I think I'm doing this right.
Awesome sauce. Make sure, again, I always tell my viewers you can reach out to my guests. They are amazing. Give them a 24-hour turnaround. Okay. So we're going to take our picture because that's one of the things I love to do.
All right.
And here we go. Hey, that's what I'm talking about, sis. And thank you again, everybody. Share our video. And before I go out, let me see if I have anybody else. She said, because her name is Michelle. That's my tail dog. She said, Michelle's are awesome. And they are. They are. Yes.
We are.
Yes. And so I want to thank everybody for watching. I have someone else coming up at 7. So we say love, send out much love. I'm going to say love, peace, and hair grease.
All right.
See y'all.
All right.